All right, I've got a fresh haircut and I'm about to plant some squash, some yellow squash. I think I've got, I don't know, probably 50 or so plants. I got a few leftover butternuts and an acorn squash. I'm probably gonna put those at the end of the row. It's a beautiful day right here in South Georgia. We got rain coming tomorrow, so I think it's a perfect day to get something planted. You want to see the corn? Let's go look at the corn. So here's what we're looking like. A couple things I want to show you. We had some issues with the planter. And you can look down through here, and this looks pretty good, but man, you get over here and it don't look so hot. You can see right there, man, it's like it's just missing. So what we did was we came back and we hand planted all the gaps, and it looks like that's coming up pretty good. There's corn out here. There's a lot of corn out here. We just some of it's just a little bit later than others. I do need to get out here and cultivate. As you can see, man, I got some grass coming up right here, and I'm not a big fan of that. That right there will suck the nutrients out of the soil and rob your corn. If you don't get a hold of that quick, you will have issues. So I'll probably come in here and cultivate today. I hate coming in here and cultivating with two different stages of corn. You know, if you take a look, this right here is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's V4. And then right here, that's V2, just barely V2. So I'm gonna have a stand of some corn here. I'm confident we're gonna do well this year. I love the spacing. The spacing is pretty good. We're talking about, that's about 6 or 8 inches. Yeah, that's probably 8 inches. Last year we had it a little bit close. And I think what was happening, or what happened to us last year, we had some issues where one plant was robbing the other plant of some nutrients or some nutrition. And so I think this spacing is a whole lot better this year. See, here's what I'm talking about. If you get this right here, you see those 3 plants right there? Man, that won't make nothing. You got 3 plants right together like that, it won't make a head of corn or an ear of corn. Let's get this electric fence turned off and get this out of the way so I can get in there. All right, that shouldn't get me now. Looks like our peas are coming on up. These are zipper peas here. And this row here is zipper peas. They're coming on up. Man, it's just slow going. You know, we've had some crazy weather, cooler nights, and I think that slows down the germination on these plants. And, you know, beans and peas, they like warm soil to get germinated. And you get a few cool nights, it'll cool that soil back down. And it just takes a minute. It just takes a minute. Right over here is some, these are some Blue Lake snap beans that I put in the ground 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It's hard to believe. But yeah, it's just that cool soil is just causing them to be a little bit slow getting up. But they are coming up and they're looking good. I hope to make dilly beans. Butternut squash are looking good. These are acorn squash. Man, they're looking just as healthy as they can be. Looks like we lost one plant right there. That ain't bad. That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. These are yellow crooknecks here. And they're looking all right. And this is some zucchinis that I stuck in the ground. And I'm really liking what they're looking like. Mr. Parker wanted a few tomatoes. He's put some eggplants in here. A little bit of tomatoes. A few pepper plants. You know, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape here. All right, let's plant some squash. You know, when you're working with this plastic, try not to put a bunch of that soil out on top of the plastic, because it will, it's got weed seeds in it. It'll grow weeds on top of the plastic, I'm telling you. Prior to putting this plastic down, I did fertilize this soil with some 5-10-15. That's a good starter fertilizer for any kind of transplants that you're going to put in the ground. It'll just kind of help them get established, get a good root system going, and then you can come back and side dress with a liquid fertilizer is what I prefer when using this plastic. You know, you could use the pink stuff or the blue stuff. I believe. All right, that's a pretty good bunch of squash. You know, if all those make, you know, if they do well, if I keep them fertilized properly, man, that's gonna be a bunch of yellow squash. That will be buckets full every day. Now, I think the spacing on that's probably about 18 inches. It's a little bit close, it is. But I still think it's gonna make a bunch of squash. Yeah, yeah. All right. So I got a few of these leftover plants here. There's some butternuts and some acorns. So I'm gonna stick these in the ground. You know, last year I planted acorn squash and we just had a horrible drought, and they just didn't do well at all. And we love acorn squash. We love butternut squash also, but man, there's something about an acorn squash that's just like no other. So I'm hoping we have an abundance this year. I planted for an abundance. You know, I sowed seed for an abundance. I think that's really what we're doing here, you know. Yeah. We'll take a peek at our onions and see what's happening. they're still growing. I know there's some folks out there that are harvesting onions already, but not us. Now they're still growing, but looky here. I mean, we're getting some nice sized onions. Sometimes when you buy onion sets like what we do, you know, we let somebody else grow them from seeds, and we'll just buy bunches of onions, and you'll get oddities in your onions. And here's one of those. In years past, I've got red onions. I've got hybrid onions, like a red and white onion. But this is the first year I've ever gotten this. This right here, they call this a walking onion or a bunching onion. And so instead of putting seeds out, you know, putting a seed head and making seeds, it just produces more and more onions. See, and then you can peel that off of there. And that's a bunching onion, or some of them call it an Egyptian walking onion. But yeah, that's kind of cool. I'll take that to the house and plant that. That'll be my green onions for next year. And buddy, let me tell you something. That's good eating.